And if anyone I'd like to see with the belt is a guy like Daniel Cormier. He's just a stand-up guy. He's a stand-up guy. He carries the sport well. He speaks well. He's non-controversial. He makes a great champion. I have no reason to come at him and try to tear this man down. I have no reason to do it.
So, International Fight Week back in Vegas. It's your, third fight in 7 months. You're pretty active at the moment. Mm-hmm. You seem quite relaxed, and I know you'd like to be more nervous fight week. Talk to me about that process.
Well, I am nervous. I think, one of my favorite quotes is, and I've been saying it for years, there's nothing wrong with having butterflies as long as you can get them to fly in formation. So my butterflies are fully intact, but I feel like I've gotten to a maturity and an age where I'm very comfortable with combat, and I know how to keep my emotions in check. I think that's one of the most important things, is just using your adrenaline, because you're a lot stronger when you're pumped with adrenaline, but not letting it give you a dump, right? Keeping it at a calm, cool, consistent level.
So when you look at someone like Thiago Santos then, and it seems when you get into a fight, you've got an idea of what you want to achieve against your opponent. You've identified skill sets that are going to be valuable to you against their particular skill set. But it seems to me at the moment, the majority of the contenders in this division since you've returned are kind of wild, difficult to predict. So do you have to be more present with someone like Thiago Santos and less attached to a game plan?
No. Thiago throws a lot of wild techniques, but they're consistent. If you watch him enough, he has some consistent things that he likes to do. I just get very comfortable and familiar with some, his favorite techniques pretty much, and I get to a point where I see them so often through my training partners that I start to identify when they're coming or what the body language look like as the move is getting ready to happen or be set up, and so I just focus on my defenses and counters to these things, and focus on where he's weakest on his defense. And we just adopt maybe 20 moves per fight, and like per camp, and we just focus on those 20 offensive, maybe defensive moves, and we master those. And then I've learned that the pieces always fall into place. Mm. Yeah.
And is that something?
To a regular eye, he looks wild.
Right.
But when you study him enough, you realize that he has his favorite techniques, and he's really not that unpredictable. Mm-hmm.
So do you identify those techniques throughout training camp, or is it something that at the start of training camp you sit down and you watch his fights and you go, right, this is going to work. Right. Maybe not this time. Talk to me about that process.
That's
like
exactly
that.
How it works.
Okay.
We'll start off at training camp while studying extensively and learning, oh, he's really good at this. Oh, he knocks out people with this one. Oh, this is probably where he's most confident. Oh, but look how many times he wasn't able to block this, right? And then you start your camp off like that, and then you just focus in on changing your style for him. And then by the middle of the camp, you become so familiar with these new ideas and these new movements. And then when you get out there in the fight, you feel like a puzzle piece with your opponent.
So what's Santos good at then?
Oh man, capoeira.
Okay.
I've been learning a little capoeira my damn self.
You've been doing the dance? Yeah, I can see you doing that in there.
Right. I've had some of my teammates throw a lot of spinning techniques at me. That's the one thing he does that's unorthodox. Everything else he does is things I've seen before. I like the fact that he's able to switch stances. That adds a cool puzzle, a piece to the puzzle. I haven't fought many guys that are able to switch stances, but I am a person who switches stances constantly. So I'm excited to just show my ability to think fast out there.
Yeah. So what's the easiest route to victory for you in this fight? What's the most direct route which keeps you safest and gets you back into competition fast?
The easiest route to victory, I think the most glaring hole in his game is his wrestling. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, but I've never seen any tremendous submissions or slick movements from the bottom. So I think to make the fight most interesting is to keep it standing. But I feel like I've out-kickboxed everyone that I've ever stood against. So I'm very confident everywhere. But if you're asking, the easiest path to victory would be to take him down, ground and pound him, and find the submission.
But you're not really that kind of fighter.
I'm
are
not
you?
that guy. No, no. If Alexander Gustafsson made my face look like mashed potatoes, and then in the rematch, I fought him right where he was the best, on the feet. Alexander Gustafsson is a Swedish national boxing champion, and I fought him on the feet. You name him. Vitor Belfort, Lyoto Machida, he's been fighting on the feet since he was a little boy, and I fought him right on the feet. It's more satisfying to fight somebody at where they're strong, and to beat them at what they're good at. It's way more satisfying. But if things were to somehow get hairy, then instinctually I know where I'm safest.
Do you think it's fair to say that since you've returned to the championship of the light heavyweight division, that the division's changed quite a bit?
Oh, it's changed for sure.
So what changes have you seen?
I feel like a lot of the contenders are built closer to my frame. Mm-hmm. You got the Reyeses, you got the Corey Andersons, you got Walker, you got
Rakic.
Huh?
Rakic. Did you see his knockout over Jimmy Manuwa the other week?
I have not.
Alexander Rakic. He's another interesting fight for you. Very similar build, rangy striker.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest change. Is the guys are longer and built closer to my frame. Mm-hmm. Where in the first half of my career, a lot of guys were a lot more muscular and stocky with that extreme knockout power.
Mm-hmm.
The Rampages, the Rashad Evans. But these long rangier guys, they present different challenges, but it's exciting. It's really exciting. So far, Anthony Smith and Gustafsson are both guys who are 6'3", longer guys, 6'4", and I've proven to do well against long, rangy guys as well. So I have no reason to doubt myself, in any body type. I think the mind is what really makes us different.
Do you think it's a coincidence though that the pound for pound great is built as you are, and everybody in this division is looking quite a lot like you now? Do you think a lot of tall, rangy guys have looked at you and thought, I think I could do this?
Maybe. One of my inspirations was Anderson Silva. Mm-hmm. We're built very similar. He's always been one of my inspirations. So maybe the long rangier body is the body type for the modern day mixed martial arts fighter. Mm-hmm. Someone told me something recently. They said, your little brother is one of the top defensive ends in the NFL, and he has single-handedly changed what people are looking for in the prospects. They want guys with extremely long arms who can create distance or who can reach up and swat a ball out of the air. They're looking for athletic guys, where in the past, the guys were shorter and heavier and just really good at going for it. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's the era for the long range athlete.
Maybe.
I don't know. But then you look at guys like Demetrius Johnson, or who's short and stocky. Henry Cejudo, who's short and stocky, and just monsters. Mike Tyson was short and stocky and just a monster. So I don't want to discourage any short and stocky athletes out there. It's not the body you're blessed with. I think it's more the mind.
Mm. And someone obviously you've had a rivalry with this, got a very different body type with you.
Cormier.
Well,
right.
Cormier. And talking about mindsets, that's one thing you must admire in the man is his
100%.
mindset.
Yeah, if you look at him, you wouldn't think that he'd be capable of doing what he's done. But he's very special. He's a competitor, and he has the mental that it takes.
Yeah. And is that a fight that you would still like in the future? You're tied up in the light heavyweight division at the moment. And when we had a conversation in the UK a little while back, you hinted at it, but then you were very complimentary of him.
Yeah,
But then recently I've seen some barbed comments kind of daring him to come back down to light heavyweight.
Yeah. Fighting DC is really not in my interest. I have a lot of people who say to me, John, you are silly for thinking it would go any other way. As big as he's gotten, you at 245 pounds would create a nightmare for Daniel Cormier. Why aren't you attacking the heavyweight champion, a guy who you beat twice mentally? You have things over him already. And my answer to that is there's been lots of heavyweight champions throughout my 10-year career here in the UFC. and I've never challenged any of them. And if anyone I'd like to see with the belt is a guy like Daniel Cormier. He's just a stand-up guy. He's a stand-up guy. He carries the sport well. He speaks well. He's non-controversial. He makes a great champion. I have no reason to come at him and try to tear this man down. I have no reason to do it.
So staying in the light heavyweight division, then, what other contenders interest you? I mean, you've got Santos right now.
Right.
Anthony Smith is, I'm sure, going to want another fight at some point.
Yeah, they all interest me. One thing I got to remember is that a lot of these guys who are looking so impressive has never fought a guy like me before. Everyone looks impressive before they fight me, and so I just have to not be like most of the fans and get overly impressed with new people. I want to see you guys beat up top 5 guys and dominate them, and then I'll start to maybe believe your hype. But I mean, if you stick me on a guy who's ranked 15th in the world, then you're gonna see me do some nasty things to him. I fight guys who was the #1 contender every time, so I'm not like most people. I don't get impressed by new people. I wait till them to really show me their real stripes. You know, beat up other top 5 guys, earn the #1 contender spot without beating up on the guy who's ranked 8th. You know what I mean? But I'm not overly impressed by any of these guys.
Is there a danger that?
And I say that humbly.
Okay.
I say that humbly.
Of course.
I'm not trying to.
But realistically.
I'm saying that realistically. As a martial artist who has to look at them objectively, I guess. I can't let the fan be like, oh, they look great. I would look great if I was fighting the guy who wasn't ranked.
Yeah. So is there a danger?
I would look unbelievable if I fought a guy who wasn't ranked.
Is there a danger then in, say, 12 months' time you've cleared out this division again?
One of my goals is to fight at such a high pace because the more I fight, the sharper I get, and I'm forcing these guys to fight me very soon. If I plan on fighting, in December and then maybe 3 times next year, a lot of these guys who may need time, their time's running out. And the more I fight, the sharper I'll get. So I'm meeting them as babies at my absolute sharpest in my life, at my absolute prime. And another thing I've learned about myself is if I beat a guy as a baby, the rematch is not going to be any better for you because statistically or historically, I've done better in my rematches than I did the first time. So there's a plan, and I'll get it.
Yeah.
I'll get it done.
So you're not standing at the top of the division and waiting for these guys to come to you. You're attacking the division.
Oh yeah, I'm going to their castle. I'm going to their castle. Yeah, for sure. I don't look at myself as a person who's defending a title. I'm out here getting title offenses. I'm over here trying to take over the whole world.
So say you get to the end of this division, you've cleared it out. Then we're talking about super fights. We're talking about the big marquee matches. And obviously you mentioned Anderson Silva. That was someone that everybody wanted you to see fight a while back. Is there anybody else that's floating around? Obviously Adesanya is the obvious choice. He seems too small to me to fight you though.
That's another guy that I don't get overly impressed by these guys until I see them take on the killers of their division. I mean, Kevin Gosselin was one of my athletes on The Ultimate Fighter. He fought against Chael Sonnen, but to me, I still see Kelvin as the guy from The Ultimate Fighter. I was one of the coaches then, so you beat up on one of the guys from The Ultimate Fighter in my eyes. Does that make sense? I want to see him beat up Yoel Romero like that, beat up Jacare like that. Then you'll start to get my attention. Beat up Robert Whittaker like that. I don't know why I'm saying like that because he couldn't even dominate Calvin. So yeah, where most people get entertained by new blood, I see all the holes and all the things they need to work on, and I also see the lack of competition they faced.
So now Santos has got your attention.
He has my full respect and undivided attention.
But what can he expect to see from you on Saturday night?
Just me going out there, happy, praising God for allowing me to be in this position that I'm in, for having me be born with a gift, You know, going out there happy, praising God, soaking up the energy of the fans with full confidence that I'm going to do what I was born to do.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
My man.
Awesome.
All right.
Very cool.
Well, I gave you some juice.